Hello, 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 and welcome to the madness that is the Charlie Marx Show. I'm Charlie Marx, and my pronouns for today are ho and hum. I watched a documentary about a Jesus cult, and the cult leader stated at one point that it is time to give your genitals to Jesus. The first thing that sprung to mind was what Jesus planned doing with a transit van full of genitals. And secondly, actually there is no secondly. Bizarre indeed. If you're enjoying the Charlie Marx Show, or even if you're not, then please like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and follow the Charlie Marx Show. Also, please share, as sharing is daring. You can also leave me a comment or tell me what's bugging you in the world with the Devil's Advocate. I can also be spied upon by you visiting www.charliemarx.co.uk, or you can buy me a pretend coffee. Coming up on tonight's show, we have all the usual psychotic behaviour plus other stuff. But before all the insanity which is the Charlie Marx Show, it's time for this.
Welcome to the Charlie Marx Show store, where you can get the latest in merchandise. That's right, folks. This apron is new on the market. It shows a graphic of the Charlie Marx Show and has the logo, "Sharing is Daring." This apron saves you against spills in the kitchen, spills wherever you wear it, and you can wash it. The Charlie Marx Show are proud to offer this new, beautiful apron. Go to the Charlie Marx store at www.charliemarx.co.uk and pick up any of the items. The Charlie Marx Show apron is a must for all people who enjoy wearing aprons.
A gift for everyone, including dead people. Now it's time to check out all the latest fake news from around the world and beyond with CM News. Good evening and welcome to CM News with me, Dame Barbara Cartland. And we're going to start with some local news. A man in Dundee has secured the first government startup business initiative funding scheme of £203,000 to start up his own business. The Dundee man, who is known by his adopted name of Reverend Master Super Being, has said that his business is most certainly not a cult, despite it being called the cult of culty things. President Orange has condemned Prime Minister Sir Keith Starmer, saying that there is no point coming into the war when it has already been won. The Prime Minister responded with a three-word rebuke: World War II. It has often been said that the fashions always come back, and this is no different for the flared trouser. Although banned in some windier cities, most youngsters are jumping to get a pair of the flares. Sadly, some of them have been jumping out of high-story buildings, believing that the flares would have them float to the ground safely. They didn't. German-born author Schmel Hoffenheifer, their latest book has gone straight to number 1 in the bestsellers list. The controversial book Mein Kampf has raised eyebrows from activists who think camping is just a miserable holiday. And finally, the Tall Midgets Association of Scotland has disbanded after nearly 40 years, after a police investigation uncovered that they were just average-heighted people. And that was the latest headlines. This is Dame Barbara Cartland for CM News. Good night. Thank you, Babs. More from the CM Newsroom next time. Now it's time to question some more things in Questioning Things. Good evening. With crime on the rise, is it time that we brought back corporal punishment? Now, a lot of people will say that yes, there is an increase in overall crime and mentalness. And, you know, with that, we have to think about people like Ted Bundy, the son of Sam David Berkowitz. We have to think of all kinds of criminal masterminds, if you want to call them, or criminal debauched people, you know, and needless to say, I could list off, you know, the Boston Strangler and all these people. I could even mention Donald Trump. So, is it time that we brought back corporal punishment? With me in the studio tonight, we have Pure Mad Mental Moira, who joins us for this debate. Welcome to the show, Pure Mad Mental Moira.
Hiya.
So, let me ask you first of all, very carefully, most criminals can't really be bracketed and put into a certain, you know, they can't be put into a certain, you know, bracket, right?
No.
So, well, you know, you're saying no, but you never hear that criminals are pensioners or disabled or even dead. Now, none of these people become criminal statistics. What makes a criminal?
I don't know. I don't think a crime exists. I think we should all be allowed to do what we want.
Yeah, I suppose that is one way to look at it. But, you know, I mean, you were brought up in the slums of Glasgow, in a place called Bear's Den. Your father was a consultant for a hospital, a very prestigious position. Your mother was a politician. I know you had a rough upbringing because of that. You could only maybe go 3 holidays a year. Do you think that attributed to your life of crime?
Yeah, I learned loads from my folks. See, my dad, he was braw with one of these. He really was. He taught me exactly where to position it. And my ma, she taught me all I need to know about hiding things.
Yeah, I think that, you know, obviously, I have to explain that your father was a surgeon, you know, so he would use something a little bit smaller than that.
Oh, but this one's good.
Yeah. Looks it. So, who do you think is to blame for people becoming criminals?
I don't think you should be calling people criminals. I think that's you. No. There's nothing wrong with a wee bit of blood and guts. No criminals.
Well, you know, there has to be a cause. Everything it's cause and effect, really. There has to be a cause, whether it's in the upbringing. I mean, is it nature or nurture?
Well, as I said, I did learn from my nurture how to use one of these, and so did my sister. But She doesn't.
Yeah. Well, that's a very interesting point, because you do have a sister, and she is not quite as mental as you. Which is, you were brought up in the same household, where you ate the same foods. The only distinction I can make is that you were somebody who was quite demanding towards your parents, whereas your sister wasn't.
I wanted blood and lots of it.
Yeah. Which would have been probably, if you'd become a nurse, you'd have seen more of that. But your sister didn't say much, because your parents did an experiment where they put her in an attic, and they put you in private school. And I think that's probably one of the main causes.
Private school was awful. They made us do...
You've lost your hat.
I've lost my hat.
Yeah, no, don't get agitated with that. You can leave it off. It's quite alright, yeah.
Okay. Oh, they made us do sports and eat healthy. There was no blood.
Yeah.
How can you cope with no blood?
Okay, let's move on from the blood. Reoffenders are mostly those who do the crimes again, which leads me to believe that they're not very good at it if they have to do it a couple of times. So, do you think that corporal punishment should be brought back to stop this reoffending?
No, if somebody's so good at it they do it several times, why should you stop them?
Yes, but you think after the first time they'd know how to do it, which is why a lot of people get caught, I think, and that's, that's why they get caught.
No, but I enjoy cutting. I want to keep doing it.
Okay.
No corporal punishment.
I must say, we'll get on to what your crime was. I know we've discussed this obviously with your lawyers, and they said it's okay to talk about it. But first, before we get into that, so a lot of people think a good way to stop crime is to hang, the electric chair, the lethal injection, or to bring back the guillotine.
Guillotine, blood, yes.
Yeah, the guillotine was in the top 3, I've got to say, when our viewers were polled. Sadly, some of them who were polled were they've not quite recovered from the hole that the poll made. But there are issues with cost. The government says there's issues with the cost of killing people, but by keeping them in prison, you're paying more. But with the rising cost of electricity, electric chairs are not seen as feasible. Now, a lot of the prisons who still have electric chairs, they tend to keep switching different providers to try and get the best deal, but it's still a growing cost for the prisons. What do you think would be the best way of, I know you don't agree with it, but what do you think would be the best way of some sort of corporal punishment?
Capital punishment?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Capital punishment is the best, and I can do it for free.
Yeah. Now, governments seem to be too soft in crime. Should we go back to the local policeman, policewoman, police person on the beat battering children? Should we go back to the battering of children? Yes.
Yes.
I
definitely.
thought you would
Let
agree
me
with that.
at them.
Yeah. I thought you would. Or perhaps back to using the belt in school. Now, I can remember back that they used the belt in school. They switched that for using the braces, which people would just up and down with that. But are teachers now too scared of children and their parents? What do you think should be done about that?
They're too scared of the meat cleaver that the children take with them to school. Let me at them, and I will solve the problem.
Okay, so, I mean, that's obviously a job that you've, that's handy. Should people who keep killing over and over again be stopped from breakfasting on cereals?
Yes, they need blood.
Back to the blood. Okay. So, what do you think the true cost of crime is? Because I have figures.
It gives happiness, satisfaction, and fulfillment.
I was actually more thinking of the financial cost.
Oh, £2.56.
Quite a good guess, actually. It was £2.57, but you know it's expensive. Now, if you calculate that over, say, a period of 10 years, you're talking about well over a tenner. And you know, now we have to really discuss your crimes. And I think that it's important to discuss that just very quickly before we finish, that your crimes of, I mean, it's, you were sentenced to life imprisonment. You've obviously been let out for this show, but you were sentenced to life imprisonment for not paying your television licence. Now, do you think you are wrong?
No.
Right. Well, Pure Mad Mental Moira, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show, and obviously we will keep in touch to see how you're doing, and we hope the padded cell is comfortable.
Can I use this now?
No, it's just plastic. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the studio. And we'll be questioning more things that need to be questioned next time. But now it's time for another roundup of moans and groans and things that go irk in the night with the Devil's Advocate. Hi, cherubs. Today I'm going to ask you, is the devil all bad? Well, a lot of you will say yes. Like, for example, if you were to buy a chainsaw like this one, and kill someone, they say you will go to hell. Now, think about it. If the devil's bad, then he will make you suffer in hell. But surely the devil would say, well done for being bad, I'm going to make your life really cosy. Would that not be the sane thing to think? You see, the devil's been given a bad rap. A fallen angel. Someone who is perhaps not a nice person. But in reality, has he just been given the raw end of the stick? Surely the devil makes bad people the way they are for a reason. For example, think about all the people who are burgled every year. Now, is that a bad thing? No, because then it means that stuff comes on the black market and we can buy it cheaper. It all works out. You see, the devil, like I say, has been given a bad rap for things that he shouldn't be given a bad rap for. Maybe he's just misunderstood. I mean, here is somebody who has to live in a place which is constantly warm. There's no air conditioning. We know this for a fact because scientists have proved it. So, with no air conditioning, sure he's going to get a bit snappy from time to time. But are bad people really going to be sent there? No. Simply because it's too hot. So, I think the devil, personally, is an okay guy. He's just a little bit misunderstood. Thank you for watching the Charlie Marx Show. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and follow me on www.charliemarx.co.uk. You can also buy me a coffee because I'm running out. And while you're buying coffee, can you get some milk as well? And sugar and a spoon. You can also visit the merch store, and there's plenty of lovely merch to buy. And we'll be doing competitions soon that you can win some of these glorious things. So, if you're not subscribed to the Charlie Marx Show, go to hell.